trash. Where a leadership meets grit, safety, and real conversations from the front lines. Here's your host, Tommy Lynn.
Welcome back, and thank you for tuning in with me. You are listening to Just a Girl Talking Trash. Today's episode is titled, Stop Waiting for the Title. And this is for those who have been working so hard and you are trying so hard to get to that next step, okay? There are people listening to me right now who are tired. They're tired. And I don't mean physically tired. I mean professionally tired. You've been working hard. You've been showing up. You've been in the same position for years. You've applied for supervisor positions. You've interviewed for the manager position. You've watched the email come through announcing who got the job. And once again, it wasn't you. Maybe you've trained people who eventually got promoted over you. You may have even watched somebody with less experience get the opportunity that you thought you had earned. Maybe you've been told, keep doing what you're doing. Your time is coming. We really value where you are. We went in another direction. And after hearing that enough times, it starts to get heavy. Because you're hungry for more. You know that you are capable of more. You want more responsibility. You want the opportunity to lead. You want the salary. You want the title. You want someone to finally look at everything you've done and say, you're ready. And when that doesn't happen, it is very easy to become discouraged. It is very easy to become angry. And it is really easy to start saying, why should I keep working this hard if they're never going to promote me anyway? But that's exactly where I want to challenge you today. Because you cannot allow another person's decision to define your destiny. They can decide who gets the position. They can decide who gets that interview, and they can decide who gets the promotion. But they do not get to decide what you ultimately become. And sometimes we become so focused on getting the next position that we forget to ask ourselves a much harder question. So let me ask you one right now. Have you mastered the position that you are currently in? Not, have you been there for 5 years? Not, do you know how to do your job? Not, do you know how to do all the other tasks that are related to other people's jobs? I asked, have you mastered it? Do people come to you when they have questions? Do you understand why things are done the way they are done? Or do you just know how to do your part? Do you understand the operation beyond your immediate responsibility? Can you identify problems before someone ever points them out? Can you teach somebody else your job? Can you explain the numbers? Can you explain the process? Are you able to identify where the operation is losing time or money? Do you understand safety? Do you understand productivity? Do you understand your customers? Do you understand the people around you? All of these are very important questions. And I'm saying that because it goes with the question that I just asked previously. Have you mastered your current position? Because there's a difference between occupying a position for 10 years and mastering a position. Time served does not automatically equal readiness for leadership. And I know somebody right now probably does not like hearing that. But if we're going to talk about moving up, then we have to talk about preparing ourselves to move up. You cannot expect to reap fruit from seeds you have not planted. You have to put in the work first. And I'm not talking about running yourself into the ground. I'm not talking about letting a company take advantage of you. And I'm definitely not saying you should work 80 hours a week trying to prove you're worthy. I'm talking about intentional development. And there is a difference. One of the worst things you can do after being passed over is decide, well, you know what? I'm only going to do what I'm paid to do now. I understand the emotion behind it. I get it. But think about what you're actually doing. You're allowing somebody else's decision to change your standards. Do not do that. Your work ethic belongs to you. Your reputation belongs to you. Your knowledge belongs to you. Your development belongs to you. Your future belongs to you. They don't get to have say over that. If you're hungry for more, start preparing for more. Educate yourself. Watch videos. Read books. Take courses. Ask questions. Take notes. Learn another department. My biggest thing is networking. Network with people. Ask people if they can help mentor you. Allow yourself to be a mentee. Ask your manager if you can sit in on a meeting. Ask to participate in a project. Volunteer for something that stretches you. Ask, what can I take off your plate? That's a powerful question because now you're not walking into your manager's office saying, promote me. You're saying, develop me. And there's a big difference there. Promoting someone and developing them. They are two completely different conversations. Why don't you ask, what skills do I need to develop if I want to move into leadership? I don't know any manager that is not going to, unless they're not a good manager, then they shouldn't be there at all. But I do not know of a manager that is not going to try to help develop their current team or someone on their team. If you ask, what do I need to develop? They should be more than willing to assist you and to have that honest conversation with you. Ask, where do you think my gaps are? How about this? You can ask, if a supervisor position opened tomorrow, what would keep me from being selected? And listen, when you go into the office to ask the manager, your manager, these questions, okay? Take a notepad or a notebook with you. Take notes. You have to show that you are very serious about moving up and moving forward. So I can tell you 100 different things. But if you're not writing it down, you're not taking it serious, then why would I believe that you're serious about moving up? Now, I do want to say this. if you decide to take that step, if you decide to go into your manager's office and say, hey, do you have a minute? Do you mind if I meet with you? I'd have some things I would like to go over. And I would start off by that, right? And then you're going to say to them, listen, I am looking to develop myself. I'm hoping that you can help develop me. And I have some questions I want you to answer honestly. I'd like to have a very honest conversation right now. And ask that question. If a supervisor position opened tomorrow, what would keep me from being selected? And keep an open mind. Don't immediately become defensive. Write it down. Go home. Think about it. And ask yourself, is there any truth in this that can make me better? Because sometimes the feedback is not fair. Sometimes there is favoritism. Sometimes politics are involved. Sometimes organizations absolutely overlook talented people. I'm not going to pretend that that does not happen. But even when the system isn't fair, you still have to ask, what part of this can I control? And that's where your energy needs to go. If you want people to see you differently, start thinking differently. You're going to have to reprogram your mind to think differently. Don't just identify problems. Everybody can complain. You have to bring solutions to the table. Hey, I came across this issue, and this is the solution I had in mind to tackle it. If you see something inefficient, think about how it could be improved. If you see a process that's broken, research alternatives and then bring the idea. And listen to me, because this is where people get frustrated. Okay. You might bring an idea to somebody and they may take the credit for it. Yep, I said it. You might watch somebody walk into a meeting and present something you suggested just as if they invented it themselves. And you're going to be sitting there thinking, are you serious right now? But don't let that stop you from thinking. Don't let it stop you from creating. Don't let it stop you from contributing. Listen, I have had that happen to me on numerous occasions where I came up with an idea, I came up with a suggestion, we collaborated about things, and then they took off, they ran with it, and they made it their own. And you know what? I'm absolutely fine with that. I don't need the credit. I know where it came from. You have to be willing to develop things because you're developing something much more valuable than recognition for one idea. You're developing your ability to think like a leader, and nobody can take that from you. Eventually, you're going to walk into another interview, maybe at your company, maybe somewhere completely different. And somebody is going to ask, tell me about a time you improved a process. Now you have an answer. Now is your time to shine. Now is your time to take that credit back. Tell me about a time you took initiative without being asked. You have an answer. Tell me about a time you helped develop another employee. Guess what? You have an answer. Tell me about a time you disagreed with leadership, but still handled yourself professionally. Again, you have an answer. Do you see what's happening here? You're building your resume without sitting down and writing your resume. You're building your story. Stop chasing the title and start building the skill set. This is another mistake I see people make. They become obsessed with the title. The title does not make the person. The title does not make the job. It is exactly that. It is a title. Supervisor, manager, director, general manager, district manager, they are all titles. Whatever the next position is, you need to understand that the title is not the most valuable thing. The skill set is. Because titles can be taken away. Companies restructure all the time, especially large companies. They are constantly restructuring. Why? Because they're trying to save money. Leadership changes. Positions disappear. But if you've developed communication skills, problem-solving skills, financial knowledge, operational knowledge, safety knowledge, conflict resolution skills, coaching skills, decision-making skills, those skills travel with you no matter where you go. And that's why I want you thinking bigger than your current company. Your goal shouldn't simply be, how do I get them to promote me? Your goal should be, how do I become so prepared that when the right opportunity presents itself here or somewhere else, I am ready? That is completely different mindset. Being passed over is information. I know rejection hurts, especially when you generally believed you were ready. But instead of treating every no like a verdict on your own ability, start treating it like information. What did you learn from the interview? What questions did you struggle with? Where did your examples fall flat? Was there something they were looking for that you didn't have? Did the person who got the position have experience you don't have yet? Did they communicate differently? Were they stronger in an area where you were weaker? Study it. Don't sit around obsessing over the person who got the job. Study the gap. Because if you identify the gap, you can close it. And sometimes you may study the situation and realize there isn't a gap. You may genuinely be ready. And if you've developed yourself, mastered your position, asked for additional responsibilities, you have sought feedback, improved your skills, interviewed multiple times, and you're consistently being overlooked, then maybe the question isn't, how do I convince them to see my value? Maybe the question becomes, is this still the right place for me to grow? That's not bitterness. That's called career management. There comes a point where you have to recognize the difference between being patient and being stagnant. But don't leave unprepared. Don't storm out because you're angry. Listen, you need to build yourself, your knowledge, your network, your resume, your relationships. Develop measurable accomplishments. Again, keep a notebook. Keep a notebook with you. Constantly take notes. Constantly write down all of these things that are happening throughout your day, throughout your week, throughout the month, throughout the year. You are going to be so shocked at how much stuff you have actually accomplished because you will forget. But if you write it down and you can look back at it, you can use this on your resume. You can use this when you have to give examples in these interviews so that you are a stronger candidate, that you interview stronger than other candidates. If you decide it's time to go somewhere else, and I get it, you're not running away from something. You're moving toward something. And this is the biggest thing that I tell the frontline team before they ever became leaders, before they ever became supervisors, if they ever did make it into leadership roles. This is the one thing that I would always say right from the gate. Start acting like the leader before someone gives you the title. I promise you, that speaks volume. That sticks out like a needle in the haystack when leadership is looking at who's going to be the next supervisor. We're constantly watching. We're constantly looking for someone to take over another role. We're constantly looking to promote people within. Don't think that we're not watching. We definitely watch. I'm looking for someone to take my role so that I can move up to the next role. But I can't move up if I don't have someone to come in and replace me. And where better to find a person to replace me than someone I already have on my team? I can develop someone I already have there instead of having to look outside. And I want to clarify what I mean by this. When I say to start acting like the leader before someone gives you the title, I'm not saying to run to work tomorrow and start bossing everyone around. That is not what I mean. Okay? Please don't do that. Nobody likes an unofficial supervisor who suddenly just starts telling everybody what to do. And I laugh because I have had this happen. I'm talking about leadership behavior. And you run into work and telling everyone what to do, that is not leadership. Be dependable. Help the new employee. Stay calm when everyone else is losing their minds. Bring solutions instead of constant complaints. Communicate professionally. Own your mistakes. Protect safety. Learn the operation. Ask the why. If you ask the why, it will be very easy for you to learn the operation. Treat people with respect, and I want you to ask questions. I want you to seek feedback and follow through. When you say you're going to do something, I need you to do it. Become someone people trust. That is leadership. And here's the beautiful part. You don't need permission to develop those qualities. Nobody has to promote you before you become disciplined. Nobody has to promote you in order for you to become more knowledgeable. Nobody has to promote you before you become more dependable. Nobody has to promote you before you start developing your communication skills. Before you learn how to tell other people what to do, we have to learn to tell ourselves what to do. You don't need a promotion to be able to ask how the business works. You can start doing that right now. Now that you can start doing today. And if you want to do something this week, I want you to sit down somewhere quiet and I want you to answer these questions. Right? Here, get your notebook out. If you don't have a notebook, I want you to go buy a notebook and you're going to use your notebook just for this. And start your notebook out with this. What position do I want next? Do you know? Are you just throwing ideas out there and hoping that one of them stick? No, honestly, this is an honest conversation that you should be having with yourself. What position do I want next? What skills does that position require? Which of those skills do I already have? And then which ones am I missing? What can I learn in my current position that will prepare me for the next one? What additional responsibilities can I ask for? Who knows something that I need to learn? What course should I take? What book should I read? What meeting should I ask to attend? Ask to attend your morning meetings. If your place of business has morning meetings, ask if you can sit in on it, just so you can hear what is going on within the company, what is going on within your division, what is going on within your yard, your facility. Ask if you can volunteer for a project. And here's a big one. If the opportunity I have been waiting for became available tomorrow, and I'm asking you this, this is a question that this is not for me. This is for you. I'm asking you this question. If the opportunity I have been waiting for became available tomorrow, would I actually be ready? Not emotionally ready. Not I've been here long enough. No, actually ready, as in, yes, right now I can take the position. And if the answer is not yes, then you need to continue to build yourself. And if the answer is yes, continue building anyway, because the opportunity you think you're preparing for might not even be the opportunity that's eventually going to find you. And for the person listening who has been passed over again and again and again, do not stop. Please do not stop. Do not become bitter. Don't shrink your work ethic because somebody didn't recognize it. Don't allow one manager or one company, one interview panel, or one rejection email be all that you need to convince you that this is as far as you're going. And don't confuse waiting with standing still. Waiting is not inactive. Preparation happens in the waiting. Learn, grow, ask questions, take notes, bring ideas, seek mentors, take on responsibility, master what is in front of you. Become the person who can handle the opportunity before the opportunity arrives. Because sometimes we spend so much time asking, when am I finally going to get my chance? We forget to ask, am I becoming the person who can handle it when it comes? Your next title doesn't begin the day that somebody gives you a position. It begins with what you are doing right now. So if you're hungry for more, good, stay hungry. But put that hunger to work. Don't just tell people what you're capable of doing or that you're capable of more. Build the evidence. Don't just say you're ready. Prepare. Don't just wait for somebody to recognize your potential. You need to develop it. And when that opportunity finally comes, whether it's the company you're at right now or somewhere else, you won't have to suddenly become ready. You'll already be ready. I hope this was helpful to some of you looking to jump into leadership roles. If you have questions, please feel free to reach out and email me, message me, send me a private message on any of our social media platforms. I'm always willing to help. I'm always willing to mentor people myself. I've had great mentors throughout my career. I still have great mentors right now, this day, that I cherish very much. that I still go to when I have questions. It is still important for me to network myself and ask questions to learn more because I do not know all the answers. I promise you that. But we can't learn if we don't ask questions. We can't learn if we do not network with people. You can't learn if you want to live in a box. You have to go outside the box and you have to learn to ask questions. So, until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and never let somebody else's decision determine how far you are willing to go. Thank you again for listening to Just a Girl Talking Trash. Until our next episode, be safe.